This week in F1, Stefano Domenicali gives an interview that does not go over the way that he thought it would. Max Verstappen breaks his silence on GP leaving. Red Bull and Mercedes engine trick and loophole has now been banned. Lewis and Kim are at Coachella, and we answer your burning F1 questions.
What's up, Vankers?
Hello, Vankers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? Better than Stefano Domenicali, I'll tell you that much. I think a couple of Vanka Nation is doing a little bit better than the CEO of Formula One in this present moment.
I don't know, Brian. He seems like he feels pretty good about himself. He was feeling himself. Feeling himself.
He's feeling himself.
But there was crumbs everywhere. I mean, I watched the interview. I feel like not that many people actually watch the interview, but a lot of people are talking. Like the few people that watch the interview then go talk about the interview, and then that's what. Anyway, I watched
the interview.
it.
Well, he did this interview with Autosport. It currently has 5,000 views on YouTube. 5,000 views.
Crazy.
But now there have probably been 5,000 articles written about it. Stefano Domenicali gave an 18-minute long interview with Autosport to discuss the 2026 season, the new regulations, what they want to change, the reaction from the drivers. And Matt, you watched the interview. I've only read about it, so why don't you give people a little taste of what was said and the tone?
Well, I think he would like the interviewer. He would ask a pretty pointed question. You felt like you were at a political debate a little bit.
Yeah.
Where they ask a very pointed question and they go, and then they just hit their talking point. However, I've been pitching recently and we always, it's like, these are the things we actually want to talk about. So however you can get, it's like message discipline. However you can get to the thing you actually want to say, you get there. But he actually would do something interesting. He goes, before I answer your question, I want to say this. So he's like, not even pretending to answer the journalist questions. He's like, Formula One has never been better. It's never been bigger. We are a global sport. You know, we are winning. # winning. You know, baby, that was he wasn't actually saying, that was the vibe of it.
It was Charlie Sheen. It was Tiger Blood vibes a little bit.
He was like, we are the best. And then, you know, even like, he was like, how are you guys doing in America? And he's like, well, you know, we can't really compete with the NFL. We know that, but we are global. We are bigger than the America. It's like, but he didn't like really say we're up, we're down. This is what, you know. And then in terms of like the criticisms, he gave one slight mea culpa. It's like maybe a little issue in qualifying, which we will fix, but everything else is perfect. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but that was like the vibe of it.
Yeah.
And it was a bit, sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
He hit the whole F1 world with a sorry you feel that way. And I think what he was saying but was very, he didn't say a lot, you know, it was both like, even though he was very political, you could kind of parse what he was saying, because he goes, we have lots of surveys from new fans saying they love it. The new fans are loving it. So it's like, that's important, right? Because that's what he's looking at. He's looking at new fans, and he's and he took a very pointed shot at the old fans too. He was like, you old fans, you do not remember in the 80s when they did lift and coast for saving fuel. You don't remember. F1 has always kind of sucked, you know. So there was a slight acknowledgement of like, you old heads are actually wrong. We've done lift and coasted before. So there was a bit of that, and there was a bit of the new fans. Like these races are polling really well with new fans, which is probably true. But what it kind of feels, and I understand, like, I'm a newer fan. I thought the races were exciting, but I understand how an older fan must feel. And he was saying like, criticism for criticism's sake, it's useless. And he was saying then in terms of the drivers, because he was like, it's just silly fans, right? And then the interviewer asked him a good question. He goes, well, it's not just the fans, is it? It's the drivers. And he goes, oh yes, well, of course I listen to the drivers, but they must remember. He said something to this effect like, they must remember this is the sport that made them who they are. So like, basically don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Right. I've got the quote here. This is what he said about the driver's opinion. He said, my conversation with them is definitely very open, and they know that I do care about their opinions. I want them to be involved. But of course, there is sometimes a sort of gameplay that you have to have. If you speak to the drivers that are at the top, they're always very happy because they're winning. The others are frustrated because they love a different way of racing, which I respect a lot. But what I said to them, listen, guys, don't forget what we're doing because we did the right thing together. So be respectful of a sport that gave all of us an incredible opportunity to grow, to have a lot of money, and to develop a personality in the world that in other sports, they can't give it to you. That's what I told them, and I think that has to be acknowledged. And I think relations are very, very good. Very, very good. I mean, and the more we talk together, the better it is for the sport because they are the jewel of our sport. So we must protect the jewel of our sport as they have to protect the ecosystem on which they are in.
I don't know why he said that publicly. He's like I get why he says that privately,
Yeah.
like you fucking toe the company line, you fucking assholes. But like, who is this for? Is that for the drivers to hear? Like how, like this is for the fans to consume. The fans are clearly, I don't really care if Carlos Sainz is happy at work, but the fans do, right? And he's basically telling the fans that he thinks that they should just kind of shut up and drive. Is that the message he wants to send to the fans? That that's what he thinks about their heroes, this fucking suit? That's just the wrong, to me, it's not the right message. And it's kind of giving that Sydney Sweeney meme. I don't watch you for you, but I see the memes. I've never been happier. Like, we're great. We're awesome. Everything's good. And from the clips I've seen of the Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney relationship, it doesn't look like a good relationship. Yeah. It doesn't look like one.
Yeah. It's also, this interview is giving a little bit the jeans. Remember that whole interview where she's like, I like jeans. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing going on. Like, they're upset. Like, but it was more pointed than that. I think it's interesting, I think what you said just now is very true. Like, the fans are influenced by the drivers. The fans are attached to the drivers. So what the drivers say matters a lot. So for him, I can understand him saying this behind closed doors, but for him to kind of call out the drivers and basically kind of have a shut up and drivel, you're the jewel of the crown, but don't, Jenny made this point of he's kind of using this crown metaphor. It's like without the crown, which is Formula One, you're just a floating jewel in space, which I think to an extent is true. But it's a bizarre thing for him to come out publicly. This whole thing is now happening on the public stage. They're all taking shots at each other in the press, which is the worst thing that you can be doing. The worst thing that you can be doing. Because this is an interview that has 5,000 views on YouTube, and yet everyone's now talking about this interview. And I think that it's interesting, the tone of this thing with regards to the fandom. Because there have been some reports about viewership being hugely down in Europe. We're not really sure how viewership is doing in the States. I think it's going fine so far, but you can't underestimate we're in new territory. Formula One is in this new land where they think that they have a foothold in America. And I think to an extent they kind of do, but I think that he's taking for granted that this new foothold they have on the global stage is just solid. And I don't know how solid that foothold is. And while you may be able, and I'm going to use a rock climbing metaphor here, you may think that we've got our foothold here and in the international, the global stage. But if Max Verstappen quits the sport, all the press around it is saying that this is a fucking mess. And old fans who are listen, we hate a gatekeeper as much as the next person. But if established F1 fandom says, fuck this, are the new fans really going to be psyched to be in this new room where it's just a fucking mess? I think that he's assuming, there's a lot of assumptions happening. He's assuming that Formula One is just in this place and they will stay in that place. And we've seen time and time again, like, these things are cyclical. One day you're hot, the next day you're not.
One of the biggest things in the United States 20 years ago. It was huge.
Yeah, right.
And now it's nowhere near what it used to be. And I think we've also talked about this in terms, like I've said this before, like that they're acting like they're the NFL in terms of like fan buy-in. And I don't think that they have, like they could just, like the Bears are talking about moving to Indiana, right? And like at this point, most Bears fans will just like suck it up and let them move to Indiana, probably, right? I mean, it's happened with the Giants. They play in New Jersey. Like you can rationalize it, but it's like they're not at that level where they could just stick their middle finger out to these people that just got here. And I also think part of as much as we hate the gatekeeping of F1, gatekeeping is actually perversely what makes the sport special, is like how much, like how exclusive it is, how, holier than thou it is, how it holds itself as the pinnacle of relation. Like the fact that I remember, ESPN would try to get us into the paddock to do something, and they would be like, ESPN who pays F1 money to run their broadcast is like not given 2 paddock passes, right?
Yeah.
Like
treated like shit.
Treated like shit. Like it's literally a sub-dom relationship that they have with the world.
Right.
And the reason it kind of works is because there are these like smug assholes that are like, well, it's the pinnacle of racing.
Right.
It's the pinnacle of racing. But if it loses that status, if it loses the pinnacle of racing status, then you're just like two guys in a treehouse saying, no girls allowed. Well, no girls were coming, bro.
Yeah.
No girls were coming.
Yeah.
So that's, as much as I hate the gatekeeping fans, like they actually, their preciousness about it adds to the allure.
Right.
I remember my first time in the paddock, I'm like, well, I guess they just let anyone in now. I didn't feel like I'd arrived. I was like, really? But then they threw me out 15 minutes later and I felt better about the sport. I'm like, good. I only deserve to be in there 15 minutes.
Well, I think it's interesting. It's like, because part of this attitude that they are having it's kind of that old school attitude. It's kind of like, we're the best and shut the fuck up. That's kind of, he's bringing a degree of that, like, we're the pinnacle, so shut up,
Yeah.
But I think that he's unaware, or Formula One or the powers that be are a little bit unaware or don't want to fully acknowledge that, like, they've held that status forever, and it's starting to crumble beneath their feet. And I think what you're saying is right. If they lose the ability to really say and have people feel, and because a lot of this stuff, it's like you can prove some of it objectively, but a lot of it is also just like a vibe check. It's just like, yeah, the vibe of this place is that this is the best. This is the pinnacle. And they're starting to lose their ability to say that. Pato O'Ward is saying that it's an artificial series, but now he's coming out and saying like, well, you know what? It actually kind of sucks over there, which is like, you can say what you want about like, him maybe just like being in his bag and being in his feelings, sour grapes. The fact that he's like the fact that he would publicly say that is crazy. And it speaks to like, it's like, it's a fable where it's, the king is only as powerful
as people say he is.
Exactly.
Right.
And so they're losing their right to say that, and the drivers are kind of leading that charge. And clearly there's disarray happening internally because this is all now happening on the public stage. The drivers are talking shit, and now the CEO of F1 is talking shit. It's just a mess. They're currently meeting. We have not gotten any information about what's come out of these meetings. Hopefully we'll know more come Monday, I think, when this episode comes out, but we're recording this on a Friday, so we'll see if what information we get then. That's when the final meeting is happening. But
It's creasy. I mean, it feels like
it reads as cocky. It's cocky in a bad way.
It's just it's like it's certain industries having this sort of messiness fuels you, like the Alex Earls going after Alex Cooper and that infighting, or the Kendrick beef with Drake. Like these beefs are beneficial. They thrive on this sort of controversy, but I don't think that this is one of those circumstances at all.
No, this is a mess, and this interview really kind of bummed me out as like a temperature read on what's going on over there. This was like, oh shit, like these two entities are not communicating effectively. This is not.
It says going well. It's the drivers and the FIA, the FOM, and the F1. Like that's a mess. But then there's also the driver. Then there's also the fans. There's the disconnect with the fans. And I think what he could have just done, if I were him, I would have just acknowledged that people were upset and said, "We're working on it. Can you give us a minute? It's been 2 races. Like play for time," which they have. They got a month off to actually really reflect. And there's this the fact that they're admitting no accountability for anything really is troubling, and it doesn't seem transparent. It doesn't seem like maybe behind closed doors they're admitting more culpability, but to the fans it doesn't seem like they're feeling heard.
I doubt they are. I doubt if he's saying this publicly, he's really, hand on heart behind closed doors. I mean, what this is prideful, and we know what pride goeth before the fall. So you need to fucking check your pride, Stefano Domenicali. You need to check your pride, F1. You got to eat some humble pie, and you got to make this thing right, because not only does your business depend on it, but ours does too. So fucking figure it the fuck out. Okay. Vankas, there is so much noise out there about hair loss, 10-in-1 shampoos, random advice from your friends, expensive clinical visits, and more. Guess what? Ignore all that, because Hims cuts through all of it with real trusted treatments and 100% online process. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Find the right hair regrowth treatment for you with flexible subscription options, access to 24/7 provider support, and once-a-day treatment options that fit your daily routine. So for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/redflags. That's hims.com/redflags for your free online visit. Once again, hims.com/redflags. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. In other news, Max Verstappen has finally broken his silence about his longtime race engineer, Gianpiero Lambiase, leaving for McLaren. Max was asked about this and was quoted saying, "We talked about it together and he told me what the offer was. I said, you would be stupid not to do it. Ultimately, you also think about your family and security in life. Those are important things." He also said that he wanted to hear that from me. I told him, you just have to do it. He said also, we've already achieved everything together. And that is, he's broken his silence. Unclear within that if, trying to, read the tea leaves, whether Max is leaving or not. He was also quoted, he was asked a question recently as well about whether he would rather win a 5th title or win at Le Mans. He said 5th title in F1. So still has his eyes on the prize there. But I guess this quote to me about, he spoke to GP, he said, this is an amazing opportunity. You have to do it for security. You have to do it this is like, you can't pass this up.
Yes.
What that says to me is that Red Bull could have kept him if they had given him a comparable or better job offer.
Right. For money, they could have.
He's talking about security. He's talking about it's a great opportunity.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity for his career, and the money's right. And what that says to me is that if Red Bull like anteed up and gave him, the opportunity to be a bigwig there, to be team principal there, maybe not immediately, but like, let's say like, hey, we want you to be our team principal in 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is. Let's pay you. Let's make sure that you're right. Let's give you the proper amount of money and let's keep you. They could have kept him. That's what this whole thing kind of says to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about like, it's the way Max posed it. It was about securing the bag and securing your future. So it wasn't personal. And I think you can deduce a lot from that. I think that's true. What I'm curious about is if you could deduce even more from that. Probably not as cleanly.
Let's try it. Let's do it.
Let's try it. Was also part of that conversation like, well, I'm not going to fucking be here anyway. One.
Right. Yep.
Two, maybe I'll see you down the road at McLaren. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think if you read the tea leaves of Mark Webber, right? Oscar Piastri, I don't know if they're thrilled with how last year went.
Yep.
Let's see how this year goes. But obviously Lando and Oscar are a great driver lineup, but now I'm thinking about it, if Oscar has an opportunity to jump, if like that could be like a straight swap, that could be pretty, like, I think the way things are going right now, I think both guys would be happy sort of switching. To leave.
Yeah.
Like that would be like, I think if you told Oscar tomorrow, like you can go to Red Bull and Max tomorrow, he could go to McLaren. I think they would both be intrigued by that opportunity. I think Max would have a rude awakening about, being at a new team. I think Oscar would fit in better at Red Bull than Max would fit in at McLaren because he's just used to like, what do you mean what do you mean Lando has an opinion on how the car is developed? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's number 2 now. He listens to me, right? I am the captain. I think that would be a rude awakening for him.
Yeah, he's used to one way of working. He's used to like, Max's way of doing things. Max goes into every room that he's in and his opinion is the only one that matters. Now,
I'd be curious to see, Dan, see what happened with Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah.
Went in there, people forget, beat Vettel, was on pace or better than a young Max. I think Max would have got him eventually. Daniel Ricciardo, very fucking talented. Went to Renault, did pretty well, was still good. And then he went to McLaren and it just fell apart for him. So like, I'm not saying that'll happen to Max, but I think you can't underestimate that how different McLaren would be for him.
Right.
That car has characteristics that don't necessarily, I think I would assume that Daniel and Max probably thrived under similar conditions at Red Bull.
Right. This goes into, we're going to do the questions from fans at the end, but we had a question about this from Carolina Davis on Instagram. She says, if Zach and McLaren have a chance, will he sign Max and drop Oscar? If yes, why?
You got to get Max because if he has an opportunity, there's a money question. I think Zach even joked about this once. Like we kicked the tires on Max and we couldn't afford him. Like he said something cheeky like that.
Sure.
And that's kind of why Oscar got his long-term deal.
Yep.
I think you have to do it because if I'm just guessing, if you have to do it because the way things look right now, I think Oscar jumps the first chance he gets at the way the way things are right now. If a seat opens up at Ferrari, if a seat opens up at Red Bull, if somehow, George goes sideways at Mercedes, I think Oscar's taking his first chance that he could get to be a number one driver on a solid team.
Especially the only way that he but the only way I hear that, I think the only way that he doesn't want to do that is if McLaren reveals itself to be the team to beat in this reg set. Like right now it's Mercedes, but like if come next year the McLaren development team has done what they did in the last reg set and all of a sudden they're actually the team to beat, then I think Oscar grins and bears it, because I think that like the opportunity to be at like the team, which is, like they put up with a lot of shit last year. He did especially, but honestly, both of them did. And they both towed the company line because that car was a fucking rocket ship. And, but if they're second, third, if they're just, solidly there, then I 100% agree. I think Oscar's getting out the second that he can.
Let's say a seat at Ferrari randomly opens up. Let's say Lewis retires, right? It's who are they gonna? It's probably Ollie Behrman's gonna go in there. So like he can't. Like it's like, where could Oscar go? Let's say Max. Let's just put Max aside. There's one seat available at Red Bull. Like who actually gets that seat? You know what I mean? Is it Is it Oscar? Is it Leclerc? Is it Russell? Like who's your number one draft pick?
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing Oscar has to think about, right? Is before he could test the market, but like, will he be the first choice? He's going to be up there,
right?
I mean, he'd be the first choice, definitely for like an Alpine. It's just like I don't know how clear it is.
The top four teams are a whole other ball game. Obviously, everyone below the top four teams would fall over backwards to try to get Oscar Piastri on their squad.
Right.
That's what we watched happen with Carlos Sainz. When Carlos Sainz left Ferrari, every team below the fucking line was killing themselves to get him. But that was possible because the top teams didn't fucking want him. And so there's the Ferraris, the Mercedes, Red Bull, and McLaren. In terms of those teams, I do think that probably Red Bull is the best spot for him when it comes to that. I guess you could say Mercedes, but Mercedes is like, they're going to be trying to get Max if Kimi beats Russell this year. If they're going to be like, let's get Max in here. Or Russell and Kimi stay for the next 5 years. They're solid there.
If Toto doesn't get Max, he'll just keep George.
Exactly. Obviously, Ferrari, I think, is like solid on their guys too. If they can keep Leclerc, then they'll put Behrman in when Lewis leaves, when Lewis retires. Like that's solid there. The thing that fucks everything up is the thing that would really throw the whole thing into disarray is if like a Charles Leclerc left Ferrari. If one of the top
if Max
guys
retired, like there's just like it's not like he takes a seat. It's like he retires. There's one Red Bull seat.
It's a vacuum.
It's a vacuum. There's an opening. Who wants it? I think Oscar Piastri would really want that seat.
Yes.
Like but I also think if George Russell, like it depends on how this season goes, George Russell might not like, even if he wins, is he going to want to, I don't know. If Kimi gets close, I mean, right? It might be just take the belt and leave, go to Red Bull. I think Leclerc looks long and hard at Red Bull.
Yeah.
So if Max just retires, that's another interesting thing.
I guess the thought is, did Zach Brown, is this hiring of GP? Is this an angle, a long-term, we want Max here angle? Because last year, Zach Brown was asked about this point blank, when Max was maybe on the market and maybe Mercedes, Toto and Max were talking and there was like a little bit like, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? They asked Zach Brown many times, like, would you make a play for Max? And he said no. He said, we've got 2 number 1 drivers. I like our guys. Like, he kind of came out and said that in a way that Toto really never has.
Right.
You know, George Russell's begging for the at least public treatment that Zach Brown gave to his guys, being like, nah, you know what? We don't want Max. We don't want Max. Like George Russell was like, please, Toto, just say that. Please say that for me one time. But I don't know. I think that this play with GP, it can't not be in his mind that say, hey, we've got Max's, favorite engineer, his favorite person to work with is now over here. Maybe there's a world where we can get a Max Verstappen on McLaren.
George, when a really hot person walks by, like the hottest person you've ever seen walks by, and your partner turns to you and says, what do you think of that person? Zach Brown says, attractive, but not my type. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Toto Wolff goes, sorry, what were you saying? And he's wiping the drool off of his face. He doesn't know how to do the smart guy thing. Like, it doesn't know how to do it. Like, all those muscles, just gross. Ew. Who likes boobs that big? Disgusting. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're supposed to do, Toto. You're supposed to downgrade the person because you want to make your partner happy.
Dude, how box office would Max and Lando being on McLaren together be?
That would be...
I mean, I'm not saying box office in terms of...
There's only two ways.
Sorry. I'm not saying box office in terms of it necessarily being close. I'm just saying that, like, that's a fight that you want a ticket to, because you're like, what's going to happen? You yes, even if it ends in one round, a first round knockout, which it
Mike
might.
Tyson knockout.
Yeah.
Well, here's what it can only end in two ways, right?
Yeah.
It either ends in a Mike Tyson knockout, or Lando holds his own. And then we see the ego death of Max Verstappen, like the absolute collapse of Max Verstappen. Either one, awesome to see.
Well, it would be really fascinating for that environment, because as much as it's Max, Lando's put in the sweat equity with the people, and this is shit that Oscar, I think, had to deal with, last year, was like, Lando's been a McLaren guy since day dot. Like, he's been involved in that program trenches since he was a teenager. And so it is kind of Lando's team. But at the end of the day, it's Max Verstappen, but they have like a way of working, just like they do at Red Bull, just like they do at a lot of these teams. Like, this is how we do it. And just like that political back and forth would be fascinating.
I also think that it's like you said, it's almost like, a chat, like a taking on the incumbent president. It's an uphill battle. The incumbent always has an advantage. But to circling back to McLaren being such a shit show last year, I'm wondering. So I think they hired GP for a couple of reasons. I think it would be great if they got Max.
Yeah.
But I also think second thing is, tell us everything you know about Red Bull. Just tell us, give us the goods, and he'll do that. But then there's a third thing, which is, if he's more race side, maybe he can help manage the drivers better. Maybe he could help. Maybe there's less papaya rules, missteps.
Right.
Maybe there's less frustration with the drivers. Maybe GP comes in with a lot more he commands a little bit more respect.
Yeah.
Respect. I think Sella definitely commands respect in terms of his technical brilliance. And
yes.
But in terms of just like interpersonal, like, I've won fucking 4 championships with Max Verstappen.
He's a snake charmer. You've watched him tame the fucking beast that is Max Verstappen. You're like, this guy, you gotta respect this guy. Like, let's have him come in and, let's write some papaya rules that actually make sense and work for everybody, and then we follow those rules. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not this changing, goalpost moving kind of situation over there. Maybe that is what they bring in GP for, but I gotta ask.
I gotta ask. How do you think? Should we check in on Bono? Like, how is he feeling during all this? It's like, wait a minute. I thought, like, I'm a famous. I won like 9 more champions. I won 1 million championships with Lewis.
Yeah.
Why is nobody offering me a team principal? Why is nobody throwing the bag at me? I'm famous. It just feels a little bit like, well, GP is famous. Like, it just feels a little bit right. A bit like a PR move.
Bono's been in the same job for fucking like 12 years, 15 years. Right. He's been in the same job.
If I'm Bono, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you could just have like a famous driver team race engineer relationship, and that just gets you a team principal spot. Wait, right. Check. I'll take mine, please.
Yeah.
That Williams one looks pretty appealing. I think I'll take a crack at that.
It seemed like there was the vibe around him staying, because I remember when Lewis left, there was a question of like, is he going to take Bono with him?
He couldn't. He wasn't.
And then I don't think he could. But then there's the PR coming out of that is like, but now he's got Kimi. Like, he's got the next truth. He's got the next great one. So how I've placed that in my brain is that like, oh, Bono's just like wants to win now with Kimi in the same role. But no. Like, you have to consider the fact that like these guys all want to, in theory, move up the ladder. That, right. James Vowles was a strategist, right? Like, James Vowles like wanted to be team principal. Like, it's
right.
Where are people's endpoints? What is the ceiling for a lot of these people? Like, is it just to be in the position that they're in? Who knows? Maybe some of them, they like what they do. He likes being in that position. Maybe they pay him more to keep him, kind of deal. But I would think that if some team came in and said, Bono, we want you to be RTP, that would be a very, very difficult thing for him to turn down. So
maybe he has turned it down, especially because like it's very hard for very super competitive people to turn down Mercedes right now. Like, I'm going to leave Mercedes when I could win another championship.
Yeah.
Kimi is also a great challenge. Who knows how these guys think? But I think the fact that Mercedes is good, the fact that Kimi has the potential to do something special might keep him there. But if I was Bono, I'm like, wait a minute.
What's all this GP
we're just
love?
going by famous relationships. I think I have a case for a huge bag.
I'm 100% that bitch.
Exactly.
In other news, before we get to our questions, Mercedes and Red Bull engine loophole has now been banned. So the deal here is Mercedes and Red Bull had an engine trick where they could deploy all the battery power at once, speed boost at the end of a qualifying lap, and that is now banned. For the background, it was first noticed in Australia, but became clear in Japan when Max and Kimi slowed to a crawl during practice. Max called it a glitch. Ferrari snitched the FIA, saying that Mercedes and Red Bull's interpretation goes beyond the intended spirit of the rules. The result is FIA has banned this specific deployment trick. And so we have like a little bit, maybe the Mercedes, this I think was mostly helping during qualifying, that basically you could really just like blast your battery, get like a ton of speed on the straight, and then, be completely depleted, which doesn't really work during a race, but does work during qualifying. So maybe that mitigates the Mercedes qualifying advantage. Red Bull didn't seem to have much,
that was my big takeaway from that. I went, Red Bull had an engine advantage? Their engine is good? They're about to get worse? God damn it. They're also talking about how Mercedes has this the good compression, like this cheap compression ratio, and they were like, and Red Bull has it too. I'm like, God damn it, how bad is this fucking chassis? How badly are they missing? I mean, how badly are they missing Adrian Newey? But then on the other hand, I think Adrian Newey probably thrived in that role where he wasn't given too much. No one man should have all that power. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to think that Red Bull's about to get fucking worse.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So Ferrari snitching seems to be working. You know, we'll see what comes out of this thing. I'm kind of feeling like Ferrari might really benefit from everything that's about to happen in the F1 world. I feel like the compression ratio thing is about to go down. They've limited an aspect of this, Mercedes advantage. And we'll see how these new regs play in everyone's favor, but not a terrible time to be a Ferrari fan. Okay, let's go into our fan questions. This is from Patreon member Joe Mota. Could Fernando Alonso win the championship again if he was in a championship car like Mercedes?
Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
100%. 100%.
I mean, first of all, does he have Lance as his teammate? Like, if you put Alonso in the Mercedes, and the question is, could he get on top of these guys in their prime? I don't know. But if you get on top of George or Kimi, that's a better question at this stage in his life.
What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
I think 100%, dude.
Why not?
100% he could get the best of George or Kimi.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of experience. He's a psychopath. Sure, why not? Yes, if you put him in a top car, he could definitely do it.
Yeah. They think the mind games are bad right now. Like, this guy blackmailed his own team. Okay,
right.
This guy,
and it was handing out envelopes full of cash to his engineers. I mean, it's just a whole other level with him.
Yeah,
I think Kimi especially would wilt under the fucking pressure. Yeah, that is the dark black hole of force that is Fernando Alonso.
This is in the same vein, but HTFLC on Instagram said, will Fernando Alonso leave F1 with at least one more podium? No. Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not. It's too much of a shit show over.
It's so sad. His, aspects of his career are just like, it's crazy. Just, he has 2 championships, which he won like so young, early in his tenure.
Yeah.
He's really just a cautionary
He's almost
tale.
like a child star.
Yeah. Yeah, he won like an Oscar when he was like 14.
Yeah.
And like, he's still like around, but you're just like, damn, he's never really been given that shot again. I mean, he had his years at Ferrari, obviously, where he like completely outdrove the car. But
it's a bit like Jennifer Lawrence, where it's like she came in like a fucking wrecking ball and is now solid, but like where we haven't seen the insane. She hasn't been given the equipment to reach the mountaintop like she did, like Winter's Bone, Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah,
I forgot what
I think.
Then she did the Hunger Games, and she was just like fucking just untouchable because she just had the equipment. And then she did Joy, which didn't do very well, and then she did a few other things. She did David O. Russell. The movies with David O. Russell weren't hitting the same. And it just kind of, she's not the it girl anymore.
Right.
Oh, Jenny made a great point. She did this movie. Jenny is a genius. Jenny pointed out Serena. There was this movie called Serena that she did with Bradley Cooper. Yeah. That was so bad that like you didn't even know that it came out. They were like, here's Serena with Bradley Cooper. I'm like, and I saw a poster of it. I was like, how the fuck is this not the biggest movie in the world? It's got Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. Like, how the fuck? This is like the Silver Linings Playbook movie. But it was like, I think a director like left in the middle of it. It was such a disaster that the studio was just like, this will kill their careers if we release this big. Yeah. So we need to just, anyway, that's a big sidetrack on Jennifer Lawrence.
But Fernando Alonso, he's the J-Law of the F1 world. This is from Patreon member Sydney. What's your favorite cheating scandal, rules, lawyering attempt, ethically questionable race strategy a team has ever tried? What's your favorite F1 scandal, Matt?
My favorite scandal, and I have a lot of favorite scandals.
Yes.
Obviously Crashgate, obviously Spygate. Those are all amazing scandals.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite scandal, because it really just shows how F1 works, is there was I think it was 90, I want to say it was 94 or 95. I don't really remember. Yeah. Benetton, yes. Flavio Briatore,
yes.
Benetton,
yes.
Like launch, it was kind of two things. It was like launch control, like traction control, launch control. It was 94. It was 94. Yeah. And the reason I know it was 94 is really sad, is because Senna was complaining about it right before he died. Because the Benettons were just, with Michael Schumacher, were just like taking off like a motherfucker. And Senna had wanted to go to Williams because Williams had traction control and the crazy computer. And but that Prost had veto power, blocked him. Because Prost had veto, blocked Senna from going there, won another championship with, because Mansell won a championship there, then Prost won a championship with Williams, and then they disallowed launch control, traction, launch assistance and traction, they outlawed it. Yeah. So then Senna was fucked because he was at the Williams that didn't have the good shit anymore, the good shit. But Senna was noticing that the Benettons were, really fast on the launches. So he flagged that. And there was also so there's kind of two separate scandals, but what happened is, just look at Michael's 1994 season. He was disqualified like 4 times. He had like it was such a pockmarked, checkered championship because that car was really sketchy.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of like races that didn't count. I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, so there's kind of two parts of this. I don't remember the order, but they investigate what Senna was saying about the traction and launch control.
Yeah.
Now basically it's a computer code that's in the car. So they take the fucking thing out. They take the computer out of the car, whatever it is. They look at it and they see the code for traction and launch control. So they see the code in there that makes it possible.
Yeah.
So that's like, to you and me, you're like, to an average person, they're like, that's a smoking fucking gun. They're cheating. Yeah. But and this is the brilliance of Formula One, and what makes it so stupid is they said, yes, you caught us with the traction control and the launch control programs in our car, but you can't prove that we used them. There's no proof. It's not illegal. Right. And they pointed to the rules. It is not illegal to have the codes in the car. It is illegal to employ the codes. And you have no proof that we employed the codes. And what's crazy about that is like you finding like 1,000 pounds of meth in my house.
Yeah.
And you say, wait a minute. I haven't sold it.
Yeah.
Like, do you have no proof that I am going to sell?
Intent to sell.
You just caught me with a bunch of contraband, but because it's such a fucking white collar, corrupt ass sport, they were like, well, we actually didn't catch you pressing the button and employing the code. Then, it's like finding somebody with a silencer. It's like, what the fuck do you have? Well, you didn't catch me killing anybody, so you have to let me go. It's like, you should just go to jail for having a silencer. Now, the other part of this was They were suspected of expanding their fuel tanks.
So this is what I was gonna. So I read this question, I was like, same team, different scandal. I mean,
same era.
The 94
same
Benetton
guy,
team,
Flavio,
all Flavio, is that Josh Verstappen went in for a pit in Hockenheim, July 31st, 1994. During the pit, the refueling rig failed to set properly, causing fuel to spray onto the car, all over the cockpit, and the car's so hot, the whole thing bursts in flames. Absolutely terrifying, stunning thing to see. You cannot believe your eyes. It's one of those holy shit, this sport is insane. Yeah. Only for later to be discovered that the Benetton team had illegally removed the fuel filter from the refueling rig, allowing faster refueling of, it's they had safety precautions being this is, the only so much fuel can go into the tank at a time. And they basically removed the safety precaution to make sure that the fuel could get into the tank faster, and it didn't properly connect during this time, and Jos Verstappen almost went up in fucking flames so they could gain literally half a second on a pit stop.
On their pit stop, yeah. and the thing was, they didn't get any sporting pit. They got a fine. They got a fine for that. Yeah. Which is the most insane thing. It was so dangerous. It was unfair. Well, because I think they pitted multiple times for refueling. You could save a couple of seconds over a race. It made a difference. And it was so dangerous. Mm-hmm. And they were fined $100,000.
Right.
With it in a no cost cap sport. Fuck it. I'd do it again. I don't that's a win for them. You almost didn't have a Max Verstappen. That's how close they came.
Right. For that half second.
So yeah, that was a great team.
Yeah. Patreon member Caroline Myers says, "What's your favorite race of all time and why? Can't be one that we've been to."
My favorite race of all time, probably that sticks in my mind the most, was our first time watching a race. We didn't know how to watch. We had just watched Drive to Survive. We didn't know how to watch it. Yeah. Or didn't want to pay for F1 TV or whatever it was. So you and I found an illegal stream because I used to be really good at finding illegal streams. I'm not so good at it anymore. They've kind of clamped down. But it used to be easy. So I found an illegal stream that Brian couldn't find. So then I Zoomed him, screen shared. So he watched my screen share at 5 a.m.
Right.
With our
both of
girlfriends
us in bed.
Sleeping.
Both of us in bed with our soon-to-be wives.
Yes. Sleeping beside us. And we were and then I remember Max, I was we're
Baku,
is this sport
Baku,
exciting?
Baku 2021. Baku 2021.
Baku 2021.
Yeah.
And I was we're do we really want to invest in the sport? We're well, we have to watch a race to find out. And if we had watched Monaco or something, we probably would have never started this podcast. But Max's tire just exploded in the middle of the race. We're oh, Max is going to win. His tire explodes in the middle of the race. He kicks the tire. We're oh my God, this is fucking typing. This is fucking crazy. And then there's because it's an illegal stream, there was a chat. So you guys to see all these people reacting in the chat in between AI porn being thrown at you, these clicky, these ads. And then you have to X out of the ads. And then, there was the restart, and you thought Lewis was going to win. He left the Did I leave the magic on? And then, fucking Checo won. Fucking incredible. I was this is the greatest sport of all time. Yeah. I guess all the races are like this, but it wasn't. And 2021 totally was they suckered us. The new fans were oh my God, F1 is the greatest sport They got so fucking lucky that COVID hit at the same. So they had DTS, COVID, and then like one of the greatest seasons of all time. Without those three things happening at the same time, they would have been screwed. They wouldn't be where they are today.
Yeah. No, anyway. That's probably like, that's obviously like the, in terms of like the most impactful races on our lives, certainly that's definitely the one. The other one that I think of like, it all comes down to, it's always Interlagos. Like 2021 Interlagos, where Lewis, like they had the sprint, he had to like climb his way back because he had, I think, an engine penalty, and Lewis hunting down Max in Interlagos, 2021, absolutely epic. 2 years ago, Interlagos, Max coming from the back in the rain, unbelievable. And then honestly, this year, fucking Interlagos, Max coming from the pit lane to third place, also totally epic. Those are the ones that stick out for me. And our final question. This is from B Guy. What are your predictions for the top 3 drivers and top 3 teams for the 2026 season?
Kimmy, because you gotta have some fun in life.
Yeah.
George. I think Oscar. I think McLaren's gonna come online. What do you think?
I think George, Kimmy, Charles Leclerc.
Okay, so constructors. Constructors, so I gotta go.
Yeah.
Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari.
I'm gonna do Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren. I don't know what it is. It looks like I might be totally wrong about this. That McLaren's coming
off
online.
On a sugar high. You get off on a sugar high. The Ferrari has the sugar high, and then they crash.
Yeah, I don't know. I really am hoping that Ferrari can take advantage of these next few weeks, come back strong.
But it's just, maybe the engines will be dinged a little bit. But I'm just thinking to myself, who do I put more faith in to develop?
Yeah.
I put way more money on McLaren to develop than I would Ferrari. Ferrari always seems to just get worse as this. They come out of the box pretty strong.
Yeah.
And they're always like filthy at certain races. But I just, in terms of consistency, in terms of upgrading, I think McLaren.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, one more question. This is from Patreon member RB. Lewis and Kim were spotted together at Coachella. Thoughts on the semi-hard launch? And if Kim showing up in a Ferrari garage this season?
I mean, good for them going to a music festival. I went when I was like 27.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a bit too old for this, I think. I'm like, I mean, just being in your 40s, going to a music festival, it's not really my thing. I'm not a big live music guy.
Right. Everyone in the comments being like, what? Matt's not a Coachella king?
Yeah, I went to Coachella once.
You're the face of Coachella.
No, I'm the face of Coachella.
When I think Coachella, I think of you.
Yeah, I feel like if you're an influencer, you just have to go. You have to take pictures at Coachella. What was so funny is, and this is a tangent, but when I went, when my fiance went to the gym, it was like empty. Yeah. She's like, "What's going on?" And the people at the front desk, they were like, "Coachella, no one's here." And then I went to my favorite diner, dead.
Yeah.
Coachella. And I was like, I fucking love Coachella. Everybody fucking leaves. It's amazing. So That's my positive view of Coachella, is that like everyone gets to fucking leave. I think whatever makes them happy. What I'm wondering is, here's what I'm wondering. It's interesting because I think he's getting more slipstream off her than she is off of him.
Uh-huh.
Has she kind of risen to such a level that she can't get slipstream off of anybody?
She doesn't need slipstream. Kardashians don't need slipstream. They need like people that will ground them in like positivity and in culture and in like real art. You know, it's like they're all like fame. You know, it's like that. It's like that. It's like that quote in Succession that Skarsgård says. He's like, you know, success doesn't interest me anymore. You know, it's like, you know, execution plus capital plus whatever. It's boring. Anyone can fucking do that. You know what I mean? Like, like in terms of numbers, it's like virality. It's like, who cares? Like, we've already mastered that. What they, you know, I think like, and this is evidenced in now who the Kardashians are dating. They're dating people that like have real cultural weight and significance, like Timothée Chalamet's like getting nominated for Oscars. Apparently, Jacob Elordi was seen with Kendall Jenner. Now Elordi is maybe like the two fucking like swaggy fucking white boy actors are now fucking like dating Kardashians, and now Lewis with Kim, that they're like, you know, these people who have really risen to a place based off of their talent and based off of their cultural impact are now, you know, so they can DRS each other in different ways. They, you know, there's a fame DRS and there's a cultural status DRS.
You can't argue that Kanye was a huge slipstream for her at the time.
Definitely. But it also made her like more of a fashion, like Kanye made her a fashion icon as well. Right. Like he classed her up.
He made her his muse. Yes.
And all of a sudden she's like at Paris Fashion Week. And all of a sudden, you know, it's like, it's not, it's less of like, I'm a reality TV show star. And it became, I am like a, you know, cultural figure and a fashion icon. And that kind of happened through Kanye. Right. But anyway, they seem happy. It was funny. She was like, she was wearing a mask at Coachella. She's wearing like a balaclava almost. It's like, people were like, do you think that people are not going to think that it's you, Kim Kardashian, with Lewis Hamilton? Like they were trying to like be coy, be secretive about it. But
but she did like didn't she have a shirt that said need money for Ferrari?
Oh, did she?
Did she have some shit? Jenny, can you look that up? Oh. It would be iconic if Kim showed up at the Ferrari paddock because according to the internet, she's banned from buying a Ferrari, which is hilarious because she like because you're basically not allowed to customize it and you're not allowed to like flip it quickly. Right. She might have done one of those things.
Dude, is this her is this just like the long play to getting in good with Ferrari? that's how she's bad like, she wants to be. She's like, I gotta date Lewis. I gotta get back on Ferrari's good side. Yeah, she was seen wearing a t-shirt that said need money for, it says Porsche crossed out and then says Ferrari.
So there you go.
This is full on. You know, there was like, it was rumors in the beginning. It was kind of like, is this real? Is this real? And now it's just like, oh, they're just like fully dating. They're just fully
Coachella's together. As real as it gets.
Coachella is where
for celebrities
become fucking real, for real. Anyway, that just about does it for this week at F1. We will have more information next week. Also, we have the one and only Susie Wolf on the pod for next week's episode. So be sure you're subscribed. Tune in for that. And, this podcast wouldn't exist if it wasn't for our Patreon members and most specifically our daddies. So we got to thank them. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carlo Juarlo, Kimberly Quaden, Alonso My Face 69, Donya Dana, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Kat, Future Dr. Dion, Steph Grossi, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hollis, my F1 Daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella Mozzarella, I'm a McLaren fan, and yes, it hurts. Jay Kess, George Russell is Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right, I wish I was Max and Danny's love child, Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Lewis Alexander, Maggie B, Kayla Breyer, Eva the Y, Devin, aka the Future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Fraser, Yuki Sonoda's other mother. Jenny is the reason I am a daddy, Megan, Aaron, Pineapple with a Y, Matt has a secret boner for Carlos Sainz, unfortunately, it's Gary, Carolina, my name is AJ, and fuck the HOA, K-Man can fuck smash my door any day, the official F1 Roast program, and its executive editor, Sarah, I got tickled by the Tifosi, hey Jet, good luck out there, Alice Insane, Zhuzh, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud, Aaron, Shahid Jeans Rockstar Chohan, Catalick My Balls, Dave Fiershaw, Leclerc, Truthbringer, Mama Burns, although Leclerc is hotter, Car Lost Science, OP Goblin, right, meow, James, DNCTT, Finney, Daddy Kev, not Magnuson, Mr. Ed, Bobby, Lando Norris's unofficial girlfriend, why do I always hawk 2 on this name, Winkin, Lizzie Y, Jafar from afar, Stroll Pay the Troll told to get in the boys' hole, Andrew Prisco, Rojo the Bambino, the Great Palbino, and Sausage Boy Atticus. Honorary Daddy of the Pod this week, every week, one Nicole Piastri. If you want to become a Daddy of the Pod, go to patreon.com/TRFpod and join the resistance today. Goodbye, Vankas.
Bye, Vankas.